Ever since I started making videos, I've very regularly had requests for a Princess Diana inspired makeup tutorial. And whenever I've seen them, I've always felt uneasy about it. Like it felt quite bad taste and I never really wanted to do it. Also, I never met her when she was alive and I hadn't done her makeup. So I kind of had sort of ignored them. But quite recently, I've had a whole spate of new requests. And for the first time, just something in my gut just felt right. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that it is the 20th anniversary of her untimely death. Her children have now grown up. And I saw that Prince William and Harry were talking about unveiling a new statue of her in the Kensington Palace Gardens, which will really celebrate her life and celebrate all the amazing work that she did for charity. And it just felt like, yes, this feels like a really lovely and quite celebratory thing to do. So I called up Mary Greenwell. Those of you who follow my videos probably have seen the other videos that I did with Mary about 3 years ago. She came and did a couple of videos, and she is a very important makeup artist in my life because she was who I looked up to when I was a teenager, reading Vogue magazine, looking at the covers and dreaming of being a makeup artist. And she's truly an incredible talent and a wonderful makeup artist. And she did Princess Diana's makeup a lot. For me, she did the makeup that really defined Princess Diana as a fashion icon. You know, remember the kind of early days of her marriage and the blue eyeliner and the slightly insecure woman with the very high collars. And then I think when she met Anna Harvey, the stylist from British Vogue, who really helped her to find and define her style, who introduced her to Sam McKnight, the amazing hairdresser, and Mary Greenwell, the makeup artist, and Patrick Dumarchelier, the photographer. And when they first came together and did that very iconic British Vogue shoot, suddenly she just looked so modern, so confident, and I think it was the real start of her being this real international fashion and beauty icon. So I'm going to shut up now because Mary worked with her for 3 years solidly, knew her very well, and has so many lovely things to say about her. So she's going to show us the look that she did on that very first Vogue cover.
Lisa, I'm so happy to be here. I love you, and your YouTube channel is so successful. I'm so proud of you and I'm so thrilled for you. And I'm back after 3 years, I think, to talk about someone so fabulous who means so much to all of us. Princess Diana. I was so privileged to do her makeup for a few years before her untimely passing. Now, she was an icon, and actually even in her passing is an icon, and we all loved her so much. And her makeup was very, very simple. Remember, makeup has changed a lot since her time. It is now 20 years since her passing. But I will update the makeup look and move forward with you. But she was her skin was immaculate, beautiful, gorgeous skin, wonderful long arms, long legs. She was so appealing. I remember one time I was sitting at her table at lunch in Kensington Palace, and it was about a table of about 12 of us. And she was so kind. I mean, she'd actually always say, come and join us for lunch or whatever when I was round at her place, as one is. And we sat down, and I can't tell you how interesting it was, how when she spoke, it was jaw-dropping, wonderful. It was so sweet. Men were so attracted to her. She was so gorgeous. She was so sexy without meaning to be. And she had this wonderful appeal to everybody, and everyone loved her. I mean, they really genuinely did. And she was such a good woman. So I'm honoured to have worked with her, and honoured to have been in her company, and honoured to be here on Lisa's channel to do a makeup a la Princess Diana. Okay, so here I have the beautiful Heather, who is my Princess Diana look-alike. You know, when Princess Diana was young, she had the most beautiful skin and did have this purity of face. She actually maintained that always. So even though you're probably looking at this and thinking this doesn't look like Princess Diana at all, there is a huge resemblance. And I'm going to start by putting on a tiny bit of lip balm. I always do this, whoever I'm doing, whatever time of year, wherever I am, because by the time you get to the mouth later, you don't want the mouth to be dry. So I'm going to use, for my moisturizing, I'm going to use a 3-step program. I absolutely believe in layering more than anything in the world. I'm using Intraceuticals. There's a 3-step program within their lineup. So this is Revive 1 first. Rub this into the skin. You know, moisturizing is so important. I can't stress upon you all enough how important moisturizing is. Step 2 is the next one, which is the jelly, which will actually seal it. This is called Replenish. So this is the jelly, okay? There you go. Step 2. And you'll see the skin looking really, really glowing and moisturized after this. So around the eyes, across the eyelid, massage it in. Always go down your décolleté. It's really important. This is part of the face, okay? The first place you show your age is your neck, all you young people out there. Right, step 3. And you know what? There's nothing better for your face than give it a little bit of a massage in the morning and in the evening. It's like your face deserves it. It's great for the muscles, it's great for stress, it's great for tension. It just keeps the blood flowing. I'm now going to move on to the Laura Mercier primer, foundation primer, which I simply love. This is a classic. What this does, it sets everything to create a perfect foundation, a perfect base. So again, I'm using a lovely generous amount. Princess Diana loved product. We used to love talking product. I used to sometimes go to her house just to talk product with her. She used to call me up and say, "Can you come over and see me?" Because it was before mobiles. So I remember one time a friend called. She called my house one time and a friend picked up. And when I came back like an hour later, she said, "Oh my goodness, you've just had a call from Princess Diana." She was so touched because she actually spoke to her. She called me personally. Isn't that lovely? Now look at that skin. I mean, you know, frankly, if you're going out just to take the kids on the school run, going shopping, whatever you need to do, not work, you obviously have to look probably a bit more polished for work. But that really is, the skin is looking so amazing with the primer alone. Okay, I'm always brushing the eyebrows. I find that enormously helpful to keep the eyebrows in a good shape when I'm doing makeup. So I'm just brushing them through so they always look like they're sort of helping me, like my guide. Now I'm using Le Cushion. And so it is the most fantastic product. It has a sponge. This is grubby because I use it all the time. This is I'm calling my underneath foundation. And then I will use the other foundation on top where I need it. So this is like the one that's going to go everywhere. Look, you can see how absolutely amazing it is. It was lovely with Princess Diana because she really was so relaxed and it was so easy and sort of anything went and there were always the kids running around. It was just a very relaxing time. And of course the shoots with Patrick were amazing. So I remember the first time I met her, look up, Princess Diana was doing the Vogue shoot, the first Vogue shoot, where the famous picture of her sitting on the floor looking like she has a duvet wrapped around her, but in fact it was of course the most amazing ball gown. We weren't told who it was who was coming into the studio in East London, and so I was with Sam McKnight, the famous and gorgeous and wonderful Sam McKnight. She came in and we were all like, wow, what a gorgeous secret this has been in What Princess Diana. She was so natural and so lovely and so charming. And by this time, listen, the supermodels were created and everyone was running around the world working with top people. So it wasn't like we were in awe of her, but we just really loved her. And we had such a lovely day. So the first thing Sam did was cut her hair. And then she sat down in front of me. So I asked her, I said, "So what are you feeling? Well, how do you want your makeup to be?" Because in fact, she was by far the most important person. It wasn't like the photographer and the style. The photographer being Patrick de Marchelier, who took the most beautiful pictures of her ever. The stylist Anna Harvey, who was working at British Vogue, who was delightful. She styled Princess Diana all the time. So that was a great relationship that was set up. I wanted to know what the princess was feeling. So I asked her how she was feeling and what she wanted. And she told me that she wanted just whatever you want. Just make me look fresh and new and just do something different on me. So that's when I sort of started to change her look and had the privilege and the joy to work with her. I want to use another one of my favorites on top, which is the Pure Gold by Guerlain, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I also want to tell you guys that this is much more makeup than I would have used on the princess because we nowadays have got so used to absolutely perfect skin because of retouching and because of these wonderful YouTube videos where people learn. So people expect a much higher standard of skin, full stop. So I'm layering it as if I was doing a red carpet, as if I was doing someone now, but not how I would have done the princess then. So you can see now that this colour is slightly warmer than one I put underneath. And it's actually the same colour as her neck. It seems like a lot, guys, and it is a lot. But I want to just make sure that you understand how you can build and still look natural if the products are working properly and if the colours are correct for you. I'm going to go back to the Yves Saint Laurent Cushion Foundation, which I used as a base foundation before, and use this now as my concealer. And you won't believe, this is, now I'm using a brush. Okay, you won't believe how amazing this is. Okay, so I'm dipping it in. Look up, my darling. It is so fine and so great. We'll just lift the eye area. But because it's the same texture as I used underneath, it won't look like a different texture, which can often happen with concealers. So that's the concealer under the eyes done. I'm now going to move on to concealer, as in covering this tiny little spot there. And I'm going to take just a little brush like this, okay? I'm going to find the colour that is most appropriate, or I can mix them. But I think actually this colour is probably appropriate. I'm just going to literally just dab it on. Little one there. I'm going to put it down, hold that. And then I'm going to hit it in with my finger and make sure that I blend it properly with the brush. So that the only place that the concealer now is on the actual little spot itself, her tiny, tiny little blemish on this otherwise perfect face, and that's it. The thing that I changed most about Princess Diana's look, I think, was actually moving away from the blue liner, which was something that really was very aging for her. So I wanted to always have her with a very soft eye, a very workable eye, but never too much. It wasn't about looking over made up, it was about looking glamorous and gorgeous and sweet. And also, she was so kind with this amazing smile. So it was about that. So I'm just going to use this one today. I'm going to use this little bourgeois one. Okay, right, close your eyes. And first of all, I'm going to put it underneath the eye here. This is just highlighting under the brow. Just very gentle highlight. I don't want to be a white highlight. I just want a very gentle little highlight like this. So this is extremely subtle, and that's what we want, guys. I don't want something that is shouting white under the brows. The princess loved having makeup put on because for her, as you can imagine, it was one time when she could really relax. So it was always such a joy. Are you feeling relaxed, Heather?
Yes.
Good. You don't feel tortured?
No. Spoiled.
Spoiled. As you can see, this is a really, really, really familiar palette to me. So I'm going to go into here. I will go into a smaller brush in a minute, but I'm just sweeping across and blending this and really blending it. Just taking it onto the lid, into the socket. Keep blending. This is the most important thing with makeup nowadays, just blending, blending. Unless you're doing a makeup look, quote unquote, you actually want the makeup to look like it's part of you. So now I'm going to go into the roots of the lashes with this Hourglass Eye Gel eyeliner. It is absolutely amazing. Look down in that way. Put your head up, look down in that way. Perfect. So I'm just going to go into the roots of the lashes like a liner, but just in the roots. I do not want this to look like an eyeliner look. So I'm making sure I'm going right into the roots of the lashes very slowly. Take your time. Right, so that's all I'm going to do. Right in the roots, look, just right in the corner. I'm not taking it too high, not about liner. Now with a Q-tip, our best product ever in the industry, I'm going to just go over that. Look down, darling. I'm just going to the inside, just like I'm going to slightly blend that before it completely sets. So sticking with my little bourgeois friend, we've now put it looks like liner, but it won't by the end, I promise. I'm now going to go for the darkest colour. So then we would have used all three colours. We can pop with that colour at the end if we like. We're going to use all three colours. So the dark brown with a small brush. Just remove the excess on the back of my hand, on the side of my hand here, just to remove the excess. Knock the product into the brush. And now I'm just going to smooth it along the line, blending it into the pencil line, so you're losing the pencil line completely. Remember, the pencil line was brown, not black. That makes a huge difference. At this point, you should feel very relaxed if you're doing someone else. So I think at this point, the princess was asleep. No, not really. But certainly, but he was always very chatty and lovely being with her, so we used to chat away. Blending, blending, very gently. I'm not going to take you far. I will bring it up in a minute, but I just want to, first of all, just fill in the line there. We're going to use this colour next. Same little brush. Put on the brush. Dab off the excess. Dab off the excess now. Just look up, my darling. I'm just going to blend this underneath in the roots of the lashes. You would often put pencil here, but pencil will be too dark an effect for the eye I want to create. And Princess Diana, we didn't really use much strong pencils around her eyes, so I want to keep the eye really soft. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move straight on to mascara, because what I don't want to do, I want to see if we need to take the colour and depth of makeup into, sorry sweetie, into the socket of the eye. So I'm going to move straight on to mascara, okay? This might be enough, because don't forget that the princess had very subtle makeup. So first of all, I'm using Sensai. It's a base. It's a white base, and you're going to think, how strange. But what it really does is it really coats the lashes and makes them look so thick. Princess Diana had the most amazing lashes. So I've done the base on this eye. Now I'm just putting a little bit on the bottom lashes, because it's so great for plumping the eyelashes. It's so great for really building them. And I love thick lashes. I'm now going to use the mascara. This is the Sensai as well. This is 38 degrees mascara, which means it only comes off at 38 degrees, which means it's kind of pretty much waterproof. But you can take it off with a very warm flannel at night, warm, wet flannel, and it just peels off. So the brush is absolutely tiny, which I adore, because it's great in getting right into the corners. Look down, perfect, darling. Now I'm just going to go start right into the corners and way into the roots of the lashes. I'm going to start with the roots. I haven't even touched the ends of the lashes yet. Right, so that's the roots of the lashes done. You can already see the effect of just the roots being done, okay? I'm now going to move on to hip nose to really bring the lashes up and out. You won't believe what's going to happen to these lashes now. They're so fabulous. Oops. Mistake. Lick this. Keep that on camera, please. Lick it again. There you go. I mean, better than my spittle, right, darling? Okay. Down in that way. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in with the same mascara and just do the outside corner so we really get the glamour going. You could do it with false eyelashes, of course, but I would never have used false eyelashes on Princess Diana. And this will just look like we've used a couple of individuals on the outside. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the bottom lashes, for which I'm going to go back to my little mascara for obvious reasons. Coat them down, 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 working from the root down. And even though I love the top lashes looking really thick and coated and looking like they've got a million coats of mascara on them, I prefer the bottom lashes to look fine and beautifully managed. So because we're doing a Princess Diana look, you know, I would never have done more makeup than this on her. I would have always brought out her beautiful eyes and left her eyes like this. So I'm going to stop here. This is a really good, for all of you people out there now, this is a really good, beautiful makeup to wear for any occasion, whether it be to a big meeting, whether it be out at night. But it's not, you know, it's not a look, it's just really gorgeous, flattering makeup for all of you. So I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to move on to the brows. And in fact, the brows are so good as they are. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use Tom Ford brow gel, which is amazing, in quite a blonde colour. This is just going to cover the brows and help them to stay up and look good. Just a very little, there you go, that's it. Just covering the brows so they stay up. That's all I'm doing. The colour is perfect. It's not coming through too dark. I have to say, Heather looks a little bit like Margot Robbie. The brows are Margot Robbie. That's what it is. These beautiful brows. Look at that. So now I'm going to come in with my Japanese toothbrush from Japan and just brush down the little hairs that are actually too high. Very gently. So the brow is nice and even. So I'm going to use now, so in fact on Diana I wouldn't have used contour because she had such amazing bone structure, and so I'm using this because I want you to see how fabulous it is. It's actually the perfect highlighter and contour colour ever, okay? I'm going to use a fraction of these two products on Heather's beautiful face. She doesn't really need contour either, but I really want to show you how good they are. Now the way I do contour is incredibly relaxed. I just take it down from the ear here, just very little, and just take it down under the ear and then just sweep it a little bit onto the cheekbone, but very little. Get rid of any excess, so it's just there, sweeping it down, 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 down. On exactly what the cheekbone is here, so just literally under the cheekbone, there. from the ear. And then just blend it up a little bit onto the cheek, so it becomes part of the cheek. So now I'm going to put on the highlighter. Look up, my darling. I'm just going to go in underneath here and then down. So it really is literally on the bone and no further, and into the temple, on the bone and then down. So it joins right on the bone there. So I'm going to use a Chanel blush, Heaven, and just use a Chanel blush just to highlight just here. Just literally the apple of the cheek here. So this is now like the perfect gorgeous face, but I want to bronze it up a bit because in fact Princess Diana always loved to have a bit of a suntan. So now I'm going to use this Hourglass palette. First of all, I'm going to use this brick color here. And this one I'm going to use with a big brush. I'm just going to warm up the face through the hairline particularly, because Princess Diana never wanted to look too pale. Keeping the center of the face pale, but warming up the outside of the face. It'll also help thin down your face.
Do you have a favourite time that you spent with Princess Diana?
That's a really interesting question because so many of them are magical. They were all magical. But I think probably the first time I met her when we did that amazing Vogue shoot was so exciting. And we were so excited to be with her. That probably is certainly the most memorable, the first time I met her. It was amazing. And the results were so great. It was groundbreaking, and the princess was so easy, and she was so excited. And she was so happy to be on the cover of Vogue because she was such a normal person. For her, even though she was the future Queen of England, to be on the cover of Vogue meant so much. That reality, you know what it means to all of us, to everybody. And she was so happy to be there and loved it so much. I want to talk about something with all of you out there. There are 2 lip lines on Heather. There's one here on the inside. Okay, there's one here on the outside. Now that is 2 lip lines. That one there and that one here. We have a choice to choose which one to take. Only with a lip pencil can you do this. I'm going to go, because we all have big lips, I'm going to go with the outside one. If you are frightened of big lips, and if your lips are already massively big and you want to keep them within their coloured shape rather than their bigger shape, that's fine. So you can see where I filled it in here. Now I'm going to lift it to go up to here. So now I want to choose with you guys, with the audience. I have 2 lipsticks here. This one, which is a very pretty rose pink. It's very pretty. Or I have this other Lancome, which is more of a salmon pink. I love them both. But I think with this makeup, this is going to bring too much colour into the mouth. Although I love it. So I'm going to go with this salmon pink. Okay, as you can see, it'll be the same colour as the outline. It'll just blend really beautifully on her gorgeous mouth. Rub your lips together a lot. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Keep going, don't stop. Stop. That's a really good tip. That is the perfect way to get your mouth as full as possible and in a very natural way. So I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury powder in number 1. You can see I use this a lot. And I'm just going to set where the concealer is. Look up, my angel. So I'm just going to set in here where the concealer is. So we don't get into that line which you can get with concealer. Just setting under the eye with this tiny little corner brush. No big brush, because I don't want powder all over the face. That's that. Then just where we never want to have shine, around the nose, into all the corners. Just a weeny bit where I don't like shine. Some people do, but I actually don't really like shine just there. So I'm just going to knock that back. There you go. So there you go. You're done, darling. You've got a mirror now. You can see your look.
I love it. It's
like
so
it?
different to what I normally do.
It's so beautiful. But this was all inspired by the beautiful Lady Diana. I can't thank her enough for allowing me to be in her life.